is getting spicy already, and of course, we got some great rapid-fire questions. All this and much more on tonight's College Crossfire.
You know, I really think that Texas fans should start buying their tickets to the Cheez-It Bowl, because I think that's where we're ending up this season.
I respect the game. I'm going to get up, grab the football, go back with my teammates and give the ball to the ref.
Shout out to the Tavern and the Austin Gooners. No, not that type of gooner.
Get out of my face. I've seen enough out of you.
Let me address the elephant in the room real quick. I forgot my suit jacket, I know. I'm sorry, I guess it happens sometimes. But back to another College Crossfire episode. I'm your host, TJ Kurlitz, and we have plenty of action coming your way. But before we get into the first round, I want to share that today's show is brought to you by Cap Metro, Austin's transit system. We connect you to work, school, play, and everywhere in between. So plan your ride anywhere in Austin this weekend at capmetro.org. For those who have never tuned in before, here are the rules for tonight's show. There'll be 3 rounds containing 3 questions each, and for every round, I'm going to dish out points in the amounts of 3, 2, and 1 based on our contestants' answers. Whoever has the most points from their answers by the end of the 3rd round will be crowned as this week's College Crossfire champion and will get the return for our next episode. But there's a catch. Everyone must know before we begin our 3rd and final round, better known as Rapid Fire, it's worth double the points, meaning no lead is safe. Also, our contestants have not yet been able to see or prepare for these questions whatsoever, so they'll have to think on their feet and come up with their idea of the best possible answer. If there's a tie by the end of Rapid Fire, I have a bonus question ready that will help determine our Crossfire champion once and for all. And let me tell you, these last few weeks, it's really come down to Rapid Fire, so stay tuned for it. But let's introduce our contestants now. And on first base, we have somebody who has been on 3 weeks in a row, looking for a 2nd week in a row of winning College Crossfire. Welcome back, Parker Keston.
Thanks for having me, TJ. Something different, like new shirt maybe, or just...
I don't know. I told you it was the suit jacket.
Oh,
I forgot it.
Sorry, you're right.
I forgot it.
You're right.
I guess I should clarify that this was chosen by somebody in the crowd, not me.
What do you mean?
It's March, though. It's Women's History Month.
Happy Women's History Month.
Yeah. And on second base, making her first College Crossfire appearance, welcome to the show, Ava Rodriguez.
Yay, thanks, TJ. I'm happy to be here. A little scared to be sitting next to Parker and Giorgy, but we'll see how it goes, and I'm excited for my first show.
Yeah. You're excited, but you're scared, huh?
Not scared, just a little nervous.
Nervous. Okay, yeah. Hopefully that goes away in the first round. It's all right. You'll do great. And lastly, on third base, she's the mastermind behind our social media. Welcome, Giorgy Ruiz.
What up? Appreciate that, brother. Yeah.
Rowdy crowd.
First time ever on College Crossfire. Yeah, I'm actually really scared and nervous. So go easy on me, guys. I've avoided this show my entire 4 years, but.
And now you're here now.
We had to do it at least once. So thank you for having me.
Parker, what I'm hearing is that you better win this.
You have to.
Oh, TJ.
Yeah,
Don't do that
I'm putting the pressure on you. Guys, this wig is really hot, by the way. I don't know if I can keep the whole show on this.
On me right now.
All right, so we got the sponsorship in. We explained the rules, and now we introduce the contestants. There's only one last thing to do, and that's to start the game. Starting with question number 1. For the 6th week in a row, the Texas Longhorns women's basketball team has placed 4th in the USA Today Sports Coaches Poll. The clutch road win against Alabama last week in the SEC tournament right around the corner. Do you think this ranking is too low, high, or just right, and why? We're going to start off with the defending champ, Parker.
I think this is a pretty appropriate ranking for Texas women's basketball. I think it's mostly just less about the ranking itself, more about who's ahead and behind them. I think first looking at UConn, they went undefeated this season.
I can barely see you, I'm sorry.
11th undefeated Big East season in a row, 47 consecutive game win streak. UCLA went perfect in the Big Ten, first since Maryland in 2014. And looking below Texas, you've got Vandy and LSU, who I don't think have shown a lot of consistency throughout the season, both in their wins and in their losses. So I think looking at Texas, I think they're right where they should be. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. All right. And Ava.
I kind of agree with Parker. I will give it to UConn. They have been undefeated for a good while. I think if anything, we should be number 3 because I do think we can compete with South Carolina. If we talk about their player stats, comparing Rory Harmon to J.C. Edwards, they're looking pretty similar. So I would say, if anything, we could be at that number 3 spot.
All right, yeah. I mean, they were pretty close to beating them in South Carolina earlier this year. Giorgy.
Okay, not to be weird, but I'm going to go with a mix of both. It's just right, but for now, because right now we still have some really good matchups coming up with the top 4 teams. And, you have to give it to the coaches poll because they are set in stone, because they do have a resume, but people like UConn. But, however, just getting into this last stretch, I do think it's good, but I do think they can move higher just depending on how the rest of the teams go.
Just depending on how it goes. I like that answer. I like all 3 of your guys' answers. I think I have to go with the person who brought the most stats, though, which is Parker. She came out with the, talking about UCLA, talking about each team in front of us and the teams behind us. I think that you were right with your stats right there. So I'll give you 3 here. Giorgy, I'm going to give you the 2 here because I do think that it is pretty tentative right now with the rankings, especially going into a conference tournament. Ava, I'm going to give you the 1 here, but I still think it was a pretty good answer. Going into the next question, the first season under the new commander, Sean Miller, is quickly coming to an end for men's basketball. With an 18-12 record now, the most impressive change from last year is a positive conference record in the SEC right now, after going 6-12 under Rodney Terry. Do you rank Sean Miller's first year on a scale of 1 to 10 and why you think it is that way? Ava, you're going to start off with us.
I'll give him a good 6.7 for the season. I think
boy.
there's some room for improvement. I think he definitely brings the intensity that the men's team needs at this time. I think it's a big change from last year and seasons before that. I think he is realistic when looking at film and stats, and he really just brings the intensity that team needs to be in the
In contention. No, they definitely needed it. They felt like they were kind of slacking. It was a good word to put it. Giorgy?
Okay, let me put it at this, and you guys got to hear me out. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 because if you truly were keeping up with Texas last year and have the whole messiness with Chris Beard and how they had to come with Rodney Terry, I do think an 8 out of 10 just for this season because they boosted them up from a 6-12 conference of last year and brought them up here. But also I do have to also add to the fact that these players actually respect Sean Miller a lot. If you see them on the bench, Rodney Terry last year, he was very much it's okay, guys, we lost this very important game, but you guys got that, you had a really good game, so it was a win. No, Sean Miller is very much, he looks at the boys and he tells them, no, this wasn't a good game. We need to be better. I'm not going to stand for this. So I'm not going to say an 8 out of 10 because of their stats, because obviously there always is room for improvement. Got to give them some grace on that. However, just 8 out of 10 was just the discipline that Texas has had, especially since the beginning of the season to now. I will say that has been a major improvement, and I'm very excited to see how Sean Miller progresses with this.
8 out of 10 for a transition year. Nice. Parker?
I'm kind of going to go in between. I think a solid 7 out of 10. Looking at what Sean Miller's done, he's kind of built this team from the ground up. Pretty terrible start to the season. And just looking how he's been able to turn it around, especially with, I feel like there's not a ton of star power on this Texas.
I'm sorry.
on this, it's okay. On this Texas team. There's no generational talents. There's no huge superstars. So I think what he's been able to do to sort of build this team from the ground up, I believe they're 13th in offensive power rankings and efficiency. However, they're still 75th, if I counted correctly. Journalism major for a reason. They're still 75th in defense. Just they're bad sometimes, but then also there's just purely a lack of effort. So I think there's still a lot of improvement to be made, but looking at what he's done in his first season, he's done a pretty good job.
I think you guys are right on the mark. I'm going to say a 7 out of 10 as well. Because I think that it's, coming from last season's roster, which is almost the exact same way without their best player in Trey Johnson, and having an improvement in SEC conference record, I respect it. A little recency bias, that game today against Arkansas was pretty terrible. Not a lot of good moments in that. And so I'm going to have to bump it to probably a 7. I'm going to give you the 3 for this question, Ava. Parker, the 2. Giorgy, I'm going to give you the 1. I don't think any of you guys are necessarily wrong. I probably would have given it an 8 if they didn't just get blown out by Arkansas tonight. So going into the last question in the first round, Texas baseball is now 12-0. That leaves them with 2 other teams in Division I standings to still be undefeated 2 weeks into the college baseball season. Now looking ahead in the schedule, tell me which team you think gives Texas their first loss of the season and why. Giorgy, we're going to start off with you.
Okay, I'm going to have to go with Vanderbilt just because their bullpen depth is actually really deep, and they have an MLB caliber style of play. And just with these, yes, when it comes to these bullpens, you need to be able to shut down the players like Aiden Robbins, who can really just hit these homers out of the air. But with Vanderbilt's pitching style, they can really be able to just transition in the middle of an inning and completely just take away the momentum from all the other teams. So I'm going to have to say Vanderbilt because it's going to be a very intense game. However, it's going to be bullpen versus bullpen.
Gotcha. You think they're going far? I do, yeah. I mean, they're looking pretty good. Parker?
I mean, I know Texas is looking good. I think I'm going to take the Auburn Tigers to give Texas their first loss of the season. Not really going to stat mog on this one. But I think mostly just Texas has kind of got to run out of gas at some point, kind of lose some of their momentum. And I think that 3-game stretch at Auburn is going to be really challenging. I mean, Auburn's ranked 7th right now, and Texas hasn't really faced any formidable opponents yet. Nothing really up ahead either. So I just think that 3-game stretch, and it's away, is going to be really tough for that Texas team.
Understandable right there. Ava, round us out.
I know that it's pretty far in the future. It's not till May, but I am going to say Mississippi State for this one. Just throwing out some stats out there, I will do that. Their leading hitter, Reed Stallman, comparing to our leading hitter, Ethan Mendoza, 871 slugging percentage. That's important to look at in a high-scoring game like this, which I think it's going to be. That high slugging percentage is going to put runners on base, runs scored. I think that they do have a good offensive lineup, and they do have some good pitchers out there. I don't know if they're going to compare to Texas's pitchers, but we'll see out in May.
I see. Out in May.
In May.
You guys are a lot more confident in this team than I am. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't even think they're going to sweep Ole Miss in a week and a half from now. So I'm going to have to give you the 3 here. I do think that that's going to be a competitive series with Auburn on the road. I'm going to give you the 2 here for the Vanderbilt answer. Number 1, Mississippi State. Not bad answers at all. I just don't think that they're going to go that far without losing. But that's it for round 1 of this week's College Crossfire. Next up, we have another quarterback entering free agency, and the NBA and NHL seasons are starting to wind down. All this and more on College Crossfire. Welcome back to College Crossfire, and after an entertaining first round, the leaderboard has Parker, the defending champion right now, in first at 8, and Ava and Giorgy right behind her at 5 points. But we're not even halfway done with the show tonight, so let's get started with round number 2. Former Heisman winner and #1 overall pick Kyler Murray is going to be released from the Arizona Cardinals after 7 seasons. In that time, he fought injury battles more than anything and couldn't even get the Cardinals far in the playoffs. He posted 121 touchdowns, including 32 rushing, to go with 60 interceptions. To you, where do you think Kyler Murray goes next and why? Giorgy, you're going to start us off.
Okay, with Kyler Murray, I think he is a very great quarterback. Whenever he is healthy, he's a very good dual quarterback, especially with his every time he gets ready for a snap, they don't know if he's going to toss or run. And I think that would pair really great with a team like the Atlanta Falcons, who's kind of been needing that more explosive play, and especially with a Longhorn alumni like Bijan Robinson, who is great at reading those explosive plays right there in that moment. I feel like they can really push the Falcons for deeper into the season. And like I said, when he's healthy, he is a great he has both parts of a quarterback that everybody needs. So regardless of where he goes, but I think Falcons can definitely pair him well with Bijan.
Yeah, I think people forget that when he's healthy, he really is a dynamic quarterback, explosive as well. Ava.
I'm going to go with the obvious answer on this one, the Vikings. JJ, he did okay, 11 touchdowns. I think that the Vikings can do better. I think they do need that veteran quarterback on their field. I don't think that they're going to hold him for long. I think that they might hold out for that 2027 class coming in. Even the 2026 class with Fernando Mendoza, they just have better options than a veteran, but I think a veteran would add to their roster.
Yeah, and they definitely have, time is ticking with Justin Jefferson, and I'm not too sure if I would say J.J. McCarthy did okay, but I like your answer. Parker?
Now listen, I know I said this last week, but I've had a change of heart.
Okay.
I think Kyler Murray is going to the Jets. I think Kirk Cousins is going to go to the Vikings. Now, if we're looking at what the Jets are kind of going for, they can sort of put together a not terrible, I say not terrible because nothing the Jets ever do is good, a not terrible offense, just franchise tag Breece Hall. Kyler Murray can be pretty inconsistent, especially with his passing. So I think him and Breece could sort of complement each other well in that way. But then also the Jets could take the other route of just like full-on tank, giving Kyler Murray sort of a prove-it year, but then just, I don't know, tank for the 2027 NFL draft with those quarterbacks. So I think that's the route the Jets could take in just a one-year deal, or keep him on for longer as kind of a veteran backup to add some experience in the locker room. And again, I think Kirk Cousins would go to the Vikings. And if we're looking at the Falcons too, they had Kirk Cousins, and we saw how that didn't go so well for them, having a veteran quarterback on there. So, and I think Michael Penix Jr. didn't do terrible last year from what I remember. So I think the Jets, to me, is the most likely answer.
The Jets being the most likely answer. Okay, I like all three of you guys' answers. Pretty cool that you changed your answer there. I thought it was,
Thank you.
A nice job there. But I'm going to go with the Vikings. I will go with the Vikings. I think that's the most win-now team right now, and I think Kyler Murray wants to win games. He might want to get paid. He probably definitely wants to get paid. I think the Vikings can still do that as well with their cap situation. So I'm going to give you the 3 here. I know you were kind of dissing on the Falcons, but I'm going to give you the 2 here. I think that his duo with Bijan Robinson would be really, really dynamic, would be a nice duo. I think that makes sense. They're more competitive than the New York Jets, who can obviously just really give him money, and that's about it.
Wow,
which he
the
might
one
take.
on the Jets 2 weeks in a row.
I know.
Well, when one of
I'm
those
sorry.
quarterbacks goes to the Jets.
Eventually
You'll be hearing
somebody
from me in the
has to
group
go
meet. You'll
to
be
the
hearing
Jets,
from me in the
right?
group meet.
Eventually. All right, moving on to the next question. In almost a month, NBA basketball will be nearing the regular season and dishing out end-of-season rewards. So much season played out, there are a few rewards like the MVP that are starting to get more and more obvious. But the most improved player is an award that could still go to numerous players. To you, who's the most improved player this year and why? Ava, you're going to start us off.
I'm going to go Cooper Flagg, Mavericks. He's looking really good as a rookie, despite him being injured right now. He did improve his two-point shooting percentage from 45% to 60% in the beginning of his season. He broke the record for being the youngest player in the NBA to make over 40 points in a game, and I think those are pretty good stats to look at. Hoping that he has a healthy recovery for the Mavs. But yeah, Cooper Flagg.
I think they're keeping him out the tank.
I think they might.
I think that they are doing that. But all right, Cooper Flagg. Not going to stop you from praising Cooper Flagg at all. Parker.
Apologies in advance for my pronunciation. I'm going to take the Trailblazers' Denny Avdija, maybe.
Close enough.
Thank you. I think looking at his stats, he's pretty much at a career high for almost every important stats: assists, points, minutes per games, blocks, free throws. The Trailblazers want the ball in his hands. He's nearly doubled his assists from last year. He's grown in points exponentially. Last season it was 16.9 average per game. This season it's over 24 per game. So I think just looking at the way that he's grown a lot, he's just showed insane, improvements over the course of this season, and especially looking at how he started with the Wizards. Picked him for 9th, but kind of traded him for nothing, just trash and picks. So I think that the growth that he's shown is pretty important. And then I also think another answer could be Jalen Johnson, but with his big injury, I think he was kind of just continuing his, stats from last year. So I didn't really see that much improvement across, just kind of continuing on the same trajectory. So I think Denny, not even going to say the last name. Well, no, I'm not saying the last. I'm saying the second one is no.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Avdia,
I gotcha.
yeah,
Avdia,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Denny Avdia. I mean, I don't think a lot of people had him making the All-Star team this year. Giorgy?
Okay, well, when I think of most improved player, I think of a player who contributes the most to the team, not only for themselves, but also, let's look at the stats. So I'm going to go with Cam Thomas from the Brooklyn Nets. He started as a bench warmer, and now he's the #1 offensive look for the Brooklyn Nets, and now he's averaging about, I think it was 25 points per game, about 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Like I'm saying, with the whole comes most improved, it really is about those bench warmers, those people who really can come off and actually make a name for themselves. So I'm gonna have to go with that. I was gonna say Parker's answer as well, because I will say that, but you gotta go with your second. But I don't think the second is not bad at all, especially from everything that he has persevered. So I'm gonna go with him.
I gotcha. Yeah, I like Cam Johnson's answer. I'm still going to have to give the 3 to Denny Avdia, because I do think that that's going into the All-Star round, or going to be an All-Star after kind of just being a role player beforehand. Big step up, especially when the Trailblazers desperately needed somebody to. So I'm going to give you the 3 here. I'm going to give the 2 to Cam Thomas in this sense, right? I do think that he's been a lot better. He's become more efficient. But it is the Brooklyn Nets. There's not a lot of competition on that roster. Cooper Flagg, I like the answer, but I do think that he's been pretty solid throughout the season. I think that going back to December, he was playing really, really well, some of his best ball. So I'm gonna give you the 1 there, but still a lot more questions to go. In fact, we got the last question of the second round coming up right here. Just like the NBA, the NHL is also going to be wrapping up their season pretty soon, which means playoff seeding is starting to round out. While there are some divisions who have multiple Goliaths, like the Central Division, another division has not had that much success. The Pacific Division is a mess, and no team has solidified themselves as a big threat in the playoffs yet from the regular season play. To you, who wins the Pacific Division in the West, and why? I am excited to hear these answers. Parker?
I see the Seattle Kraken winning the Pacific Division. First off, Colin's not happy.
Seattle.
They're on a 2-game win streak. They've gone 7-3 in their last 10 games. And they're only 3 points away from the leaders who before this last game were the Golden Knights. And the Knights, aside from the game they just played, they were on a 3-game loss streak. The Ducks, I think, are kind of inconsistent and showing pretty similar stats to... Everyone's laughing at me, and I don't really know why. Showing pretty similar stats to the Kraken. I just think they're kind of unreliable. And also, I love Jessica Campbell, so.
All right.
Thank you.
Georgie?
Okay, sorry to go against what Parker just said here, but I'm actually going to go with the Knights. Even though they had that 3-game loss streak, they do have that, Stanley Cup Finals experience, and they have that deep roster, and you really can't account for that. Every team always has its little divots, but that only makes the come better. So I'm going to say that the Knights, the background's going crazy right now. Not a big NHL girly, but I'm just going to go with the Knights. Sometimes you just got to go with the champion. Let's see how the crowd reacts.
Just go Knights. They definitely have a lot of Stanley Cup experience there. Ava?
I'm also not an NHL girly, but I might have to be after this one. I'm going to go with the Anaheim Ducks. They beat the Knights 4-3 recently. I think that they have some good, strong forwards. We have Chris Kreider making those good long shots from midcourt. I think that they have what it takes to beat out the Knights in the ranking. They're ranked #2 right now, so we'll see what happens.
All right. Yeah, I mean, those answers did not disappoint, I'm going to be honest. Ava, I'm going to give you the 3 here because I do think that the Ducks are the hottest team in the Pacific Division. There's not a lot of season left. They can get that edge over the Golden Knights, and I believe it because they did just beat Vegas I believe a week ago. I'll give the 2 points to Vegas. They have that Stanley Cup experience. They are a little banged up right now, but they're going to be all right. They have a bunch of overtime losses, which means they're going, they're always staying competitive. They're keeping games within reach. So I'm going to give you the 2 here. Seattle.
Wait, I thought that's what it was. At least
Seattle.
At least I gave you a hockey answer.
No. That's, it's an answer. It is an answer. So, unfortunately, that's going to get the 1 there. 2 blocks are down and only 1 to go. Rapid fire is coming up. You won't want to miss the most entertaining round of all, as well as finding out who will win this week's College Crossfire once and for all. All this and more on College Crossfire.
I thought we talked.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have made it to the last round, rapid fire. Before we start, we do have to say who is currently winning, it's a very, very competitive game this week. Parker, you're in first with 13. Giorgy right behind at 12. Ava at 11 points. We got a very tight game. It's going to all come down to this final round. All questions have not been prepared or seen by the contestants. It will be all gas, no brakes from here on out. Let's get right into it. Well, everyone talks about March as the month of basketball, with college and professional basketball reaching the peaks of their season. March is also known for something else, Women's History Month. With our first episode this month and having 3 talented female sports analysts on the show, I want to ask who's been your biggest inspiration to join sports journalism and why?
Okay.
Oh, I got some applause for that.
Well,
I will be judging your answers, guys.
I know you will. I will say, as a minority in sports, it is actually really hard to kind of find people who you really look up to. But the story I do look up to, I think, would say is Holly Rowe, because she clearly had inserted herself into this position. She would call the people up, be like, "Hey, I see you don't have a sideline reporter. I'm like available for it. Oh yeah, come on down." She took the extra step to place her in positions where the doors were really closed shut for her, and she made herself. My favorite thing is that she called the same station. They're like, "Hey, do y'all need a sideline reporter for this?" And they're like, "Yeah, actually," because she's like, "Oh, I'm in town." And they're like, "Yeah, actually, we do." So, and she wasn't in town. She got a flight that day and showed up just so she can start getting her thing in. So I'm gonna say Holly Rowe for me.
Nice. Okay, Holly Rowe. Ava, you gonna go next?
Yes, I will say Rebecca Lobo for this one because I did get the opportunity to just recently meet her. She's awesome. She just carries herself with so much poise and confidence, and I think that definitely comes from her career in the WNBA. I do look up to her as a data analyst. I think that that's a great field to go into, especially for women. There's a lot of open slots for that right now. I think that it is a competitive field, but I think that women in STEM, data, like, we could do it, I think, if we really wanted to. She's just too cool for school. I really enjoyed getting to meet her, and she's great to have in my presence. But
That's
yeah.
cool. You got to meet her.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's nice. All right. Parker?
Oh, sorry. I love Laura Rutledge. I just think she's so cool. She's so driven and hardworking. I always really think about that video from, I believe it was the Georgia Ole Miss game during the playoffs, where she had like 30 seconds to sprint all the way across the field from her, I think it was her sideline interview with one of the coaches, and then all the way to the desk for
I know what you're
halftime.
talking
You know,
about.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, I just think that's so cool. I think just watching people like her just be not only so passionate about what they do, but so good at it too, and so just, I think, committed to the craft is really inspiring to see.
All right. Oh, those were great 3 answers right there. I can't tell you guys who won. I guess I'll reveal it afterwards, but we got to get to the next question of rapid fire. So, question number 2. The NFL Combine was this past weekend, where hopeful NFL prospects got to show their athleticism and skills in front of numerous scouts. One of the most popular events in the Combine is the 40-yard dash. The fastest record is currently owned by Texas Longhorn Xavier Worthy at 4.21. While none of us in TSTV could even dream of running that fast, my question is, who do you think would run the fastest 40-yard dash in TSTV sports?
I think we talked about this. I think
Oh, you guys actually
I
talked
had 2
about
picks.
this.
Well, no, I think, well, Ava ran track. I think you would be really fast. Like, you just, like, give fast
good
vibes.
point.
And then I think also, like, I said this last week, I think Sati would be kind of a sleeper pick. Like, I don't really know why. I just think Sati seems kind of like an underdog. Like, I don't think you'd really expect him to be fast. Not an insult, just, like, saying it. But I just think, like, I don't know. I think you'd pull out a pretty fast 40.
All right. So which one, though, if you had to choose?
Oh.
Gotta go with somebody.
Ava?
Ava?
Okay, I'm gonna have to go with Santi then, because I was literally thinking about Santi. You have no idea how much energy this man has got. Like, I need to see it. I need to see him just like in a good mood. I need to see him after a baseball game, and trust me, get him on that line, and that 40 gonna go quick. So I'm gonna go with Santi.
Wow. I mean, it's a good answer. Good answer. Ava?
You know, not to, like, you know, jump on the glaze, but I think that, Parker, you're very tall.
Wow.
You have very long legs, and I think if you wanted to run track, you definitely could. And I'm going to go with Parker on this one, because I think also with her competitiveness, we've seen the past 3 weeks on Crossfire, I think anything that you told Parker to do, she'd do it to compete. And so, yeah.
No glaze, though.
No glaze, though. No.
Nobody
no glaze.
picked Colin, though.
I don't know. We were both going to say Colin.
We were all looking at you. But I feel like you
No.
would, like, stop midway and be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That is exactly what went through my head.
Colin would give you the best 40 face. Colin would give you
All
the
right.
best 40 face, I think.
I was
Alright,
going
that's
to say
pretty-
Colin
that's a
too,
good
because he's
point.
also pretty tall, but we'll see.
Moving on to the last question. What trivia question now? To go to this great university is a privilege, not only because of the great education, but because the athletics is almost as good as it can get. And thanks to a lot of that is the women's side of it, with multiple national championships and numerous amounts of sports. Even just last year, the softball team was the latest of the teams at Texas to win a national championship. The last question I have for you for Crossfire is, how many NCAA national championships do you think Texas has won in its history through women's sports? And I guess a bonus point if you can guess which has gotten the most. Only women's side, and it's national champions.
For team national championships, I'm going to take the women's swim and dive, I think, for the team. I'll take
How many?
38.
38?
Yes.
Okay. You guys can take as long as you guys need. Well, not too long, because we do have a show after
Is this like in the history of ever? Like
History of ever in NCAA. Yeah.
History of ever
in the NCAA.
Right. Oh, okay. Parker, you said 38. I'm going to go 45. And I'm also going to say women's swim and dive.
35?
45.
45.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Swimming and diving. Popular answer
I'm
here.
going to go with the under because 1972, we got to remember that, so it's about 28.
Ooh.
And then
Uh-oh.
you got some mental math, and I doubt it'd be. So I'm going to just go with like a cool 50. I'm going to go with a cool 50.
A cool 50.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. No, because they said 50. I'm sorry, I meant under the 50. I'm going to go 36.
36.
That was such a weird jump. I'm sorry. That was like another, yeah. I'll go 36.
She prices right at me.
Yeah.
Wait, so 50 or 36?
36.
Okay, making sure.
I was like, I had that 50 in my mind from.
Well, the answer to that question, all you guys were actually really close.
Oh, nice.
The answer to that question, Texas has won 64 national championships, not in women's, overall. In women's, 32.
Ooh.
No!
So what a show we had tonight. That's going to wrap up Rapid Fire.
1,000 hot dogs.
You got it.
Right?
It was close throughout, but we finally have a winner. It was swimming and diving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We finally
That was a given.
have a winner. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. With a 1-point win, the winner is Giorgy Ruiz.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. Did I FaceTime? I get FaceTime.
Yeah, you did.
Okay, okay, I just want to say first time ever on College Crossfire. I was so nervous, but I just want to say thank you. And this has been one of the best years in TSTV and literally my favorite time in senior year ever. So I just want to say love y'all. Everybody in the back room, audience, everybody. You too, TJ and a wig. Love you, bro.
Thank you.
Love you all. Thank you.
Shout out TSTV Sports. Shout out TSTV Sports. It has been a pretty good year for the organization. What an impressive showing. Great job to all three of you guys. You guys did all great. Congratulations, Giorgy, on winning on your first time on. Thank you to everyone who makes this show possible, from the contestants to the in-studio personnel, all the people in Master Control, especially our executive producer, Grable Silva, and to you, the audience. Thanks for watching. Remember to tune into our other shows here at TSTV Sports, which include the One to Know Sports Show on Fridays at 11 and College Press Box on Tuesdays at 6. We're glad you joined us here for College Crossfire, and we hope to see you next week to watch Giorgy try to defend her title. This has been TJ Krulitz. Have a great night.